Being the President of the United States is one of the most demanding jobs there is. It's certainly not a role that just anyone can fill, and isn't a job for the faint of heart. It requires intense focus and a tremendous amount of time and energy. Regardless of how you feel about the 45th president, Donald J. Trump's policies and practice, it's worth giving him credit where it's due. He's certainly a man who is committed to his position. Donald Trump's tenure as the 45th President of the United States began with his inauguration on January 20th, 2017, and ended on January 20, 2021. But what does that entail day to day, and how does his schedule stack up compared to former presidents? In this video, we're going to take a look at Donald Trump's insane daily routine. Welcome back to our channel. If you want to learn how successful people organize their days, live their life, and all types of other luxury-related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. The whole world started talking about Trump's daily routine when the first half of his schedule for November 7, 2018 was leaked by White House staffers. After a brief glance, the day went as follows. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. was executive time. From 11 to 11:30, he had a meeting. There was then another hour of executive time and then an hour-long lunch. Beyond that, his plans for the day were a mystery. To the critical, it may seem that Trump didn't exactly do much from 8 a.m. to 1:30, but then it all depends on how you interpret executive time. It's been revealed that 60% of Trump's schedule is spent on what is termed as blocks of executive time. In a little bit, we'll get to the bottom of what exactly that entails. In addition to his very specific responsibilities of meeting with world leaders, touching base with members of his administration, and dealing with the various struggles of combating a global pandemic, these unstructured chunks of time are left to Trump's discretion to both fulfill his many obligations while balancing his leisure time. Of course, many have speculated about how he spends his day, and these chunks of time have been picked apart by those with partisan interests. But let's take a look at how Trump really spends his time and just how grueling the job really is. The first key to understanding how Trump starts his day is to first look at how he ends it. Trump gets very little sleep. Reportedly, Trump wakes up very early. He opens his eyes around 5:30 every morning and starts making phone calls as early as 6 a.m. Fortunately for his health, Mr. Trump isn't a coffee addict. He just gets up and goes. Trump has expressed that one of the keys to his success has been his sleep schedule. He claims to only get 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. That doesn't seem like much, and speculates he has an edge over those who need more sleep to feel well rested and productive. Not many people can manage a busy day with only 4 hours of sleep. I sure couldn't without a liter of coffee in me. Scientists do say that roughly 1% of the population need less sleep than the rest of us. So maybe he's right. Maybe Trump is a member of this 1%. It wouldn't be the only 1% he's a part of, but health professionals do recommend 7 to 8 hours of rest a day for most of us. So he starts his day incredibly early and gets almost no sleep. We know that, but what is he using that time for? Donald Trump typically skips breakfast. When you're up and rolling so early in the morning, that leaves little time for a lavish breakfast. He rarely indulges in this morning mainstay. When he does, he's expressed his favorite breakfast foods are eggs over well and bacon medium. In 2016, Trump revealed he normally enjoys a light lunch, but his favorite meal of the day is dinner. Trump's morning routine includes watching Fox News and tweeting. In between his duties, he likes to keep up on the latest world events and politics and maintain an active presence on the social media platform. It's been rumored some of Trump's chiefs of staff have made attempts to limit his time spent in these ways, but as we all know, he does what he wants and when he wants unapologetically. This approach has brought Trump's critics as well as ardent fans. Trump leaves his residential quarters around 8 and makes his way to the West Wing. There he's met with daily intelligence briefings. He has historically made it a habit of breaking with tradition by dismissing what is known as the presidential daily brief in favor of receiving oral briefings. Every day's schedule varies, but Trump always has his executive time. These blocks of time can last as long as 2 hours, but are sometimes as short as 45 minutes. During this time, he isn't engaged in the official meetings and appearances that fill the rest of his schedule. Some have criticized Trump for these unstructured time chunks, as they've been known to take up large portions of his day, sometimes up to 9 hours. But arguably, some people do their best work when ideas are free to flow and use of time is open to their own discretion. There's no denying the fact that Trump has modeled much of his time as commander-in-chief after his time as a business executive. No doubt he feels his approach to time management has been successful in his previous profession, and thus it's the optimal way to treat his current position. Reportedly, Chief of Staff John Kelly first instituted these executive time chunks after Trump had expressed he didn't have enough adequate time to think. Trump's eating schedule varies. Some days, but not every day, Trump has lunches with officials to discuss important policy and action. Generally speaking, Trump uses his dinner time as the chief dining opportunity to discuss important strategic issues pertaining to national security with guests of his choosing. He typically enjoys this meal around 6:30 every evening. Unlike previous incumbent and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama, Trump rarely goes out to eat in D.C. He typically enjoys his meals at his steakhouse at the Trump Hotel. Trump was quoted as saying, "I can invite anyone for dinner and they will come," shortly after he took office. There's probably a lot of truth in that statement as well. Previous dinner guests include Matt Drudge of Drudge Report, Kid Rock, and Fox News' Sean Hannity. When you are the leader of the free world, you gotta make sure you get the nutrition you need to keep you going throughout your stress-filled days. Some of Trump's dinner favorites include well-done steaks and meatloaf. He also enjoys the occasional Diet Coke to wash it all down. For dessert, Trump is served a slice of pie with 2 scoops of ice cream. His guests are served a slice with only 1 scoop. After lunch, Trump takes meetings, holds policy sessions, engages in photo ops, and attends important events. There's no real formula or structure to the latter half of his day, as you might expect from a job as challenging and demanding as holding office. There's no guarantee what may happen from one day to the next. The thing that remains consistent is executive time. Trump makes sure to sprinkle it in between each important event of the day. Meeting, then executive time, another meeting, another bout of executive time. Trump's day is structured like a gym session: 20 reps, then a break, 30 reps, then a break. Regardless of what exactly executive time may be, the average working day for Trump consists of shifting gears between executive time and more regular office-style work every few hours, constantly from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is when Trump's average workday comes to an end. Of course, this doesn't take into account special events and occasions which can often run well into the evening. Trump's method is to take lots of little and some large breaks in between each and every major meeting or policy session. A chance to recharge the batteries and catch up on the latest news headlines. It's interesting to stack Trump up against the past presidents. Bush's average time in Oval Office per day was between 10 and 11 hours. Obama's was about 9 hours, though he would often continue working until about 3 in the morning at the residence. At present, Trump is working 6 hours a day. This gives him plenty of time to watch cable news, which seems to be his main way of keeping in touch with the American population. Trump prioritizes being as up-to-date with what's going on in this country as he can be. Trump loves to play golf in his downtime. 25 miles from the White House is his golf club, Trump National. Trump enjoys hitting the green on the weekends and has reportedly visited the club over 166 times since taking office. On long weekends and special occasions, Trump and his family take frequent trips down to Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, which he refers to as a Southern White House. He typically has far fewer staff when he's at the resort, although many of his aides still remain on call. For New Year's every year, Trump holds rather luxurious parties at Mar-a-Lago. Ticket prices to attend the event range from $650 for due-paying members of the club to $1,000 for non-affiliated guests. During the election season, Trump's schedule has been particularly packed. Handling the daily duties of being president while simultaneously engaging his base through rallies and events has to be quite tiresome for Trump, although he had never suspected from his rhetoric. He endeavors to always maintain a persona of strength and vigor, which is obvious by his criticisms of his political opponents, notably his labeling of former Vice President Joe Biden as Sleepy Joe. In recent times dealing with the pandemic, Trump has had the added responsibility of working with the various task force teams, governmental agencies, and scientific institutions to formulate plans of action and provide regular press releases to the concerned public about the state of things. Of course, dealing with the issue has been tricky, seeing how polarized society has become. Whether you agree with his approach or perspective or not, it's clear that balancing the duties of being president while navigating a global crisis and being looked upon for answers to a divided world's vast array of questions is certainly a trial, some task to undertake. But how exactly does this schedule stack up when we look at more than just one day? What does a week look like, or even a month? It's been estimated that from November 7th, 2018 to February 1st, 2019, Trump's working days broke down into the following numbers: 77 hours and 5 minutes on meetings, 51 hours and 15 minutes on travel, 39 hours on lunch, hopefully not in a row, 38 hours and 20 minutes on events, and 297 hours and 15 minutes on executive time. Travel takes up a lot of time. Trump constantly has to jet set across the globe. Even with the luxury of not having to go through airport security, traveling across the planet takes up a lot of time. Of course, Air Force One is an environment that's relatively conducive for Trump to get things done. But can you imagine what having constant jet lag must feel like? Most of us could agree our jobs aren't nearly as demanding as a president. Can you imagine having every one of your moves and decisions be scrutinized by the entire world? We'd love to hear from you. Do you think you have what it takes to be the President of the United States? Or would you never want to have such an exhausting job? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Before you go, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon to turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with all our latest videos. If you want to discover how Google CEO Sundar Pichai schedules his days, also check out this video showing up on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.